esports tournaments and creator events at the Gamescom event arena. Can't make it to Gamescom in person? Visit our website gamescom.global and experience all program highlights via our content hub, Gamescom Now. While you're there, make your voice count in the Gamescom Award. Vote for the most exciting games, groundbreaking products, and jaw-dropping innovations presented here at Gamescom. Do you remember our incredible friends and gaming experts from IGN? Of course, they're back, hosting full days of Gamescom studio live streams on Twitch and YouTube. Oh hey, AP, crashing the party. You'll find our all-time favorite RPG Gamescom epics on our website. Join the community and grab your loot. Now moving on to something that is very important to us, our initiative Gamescom Cares. We want to shine a light on social and environmental responsibility. In order to reduce emissions, Gamescom runs on 100% renewable energy. Just as important, accessibility is key for us. Gamescom should be a safe, inclusive space for everyone. Speaking of inclusive spaces, the Gamescom City Festival is taking over the city with live music, awesome shows, and all kinds of fun. Did we mention? Entry to the City Festival is free for everyone. Welcome to the playground. Welcome to Gamescom.
Gamescom 2025 is here. Brand new episodes of Outside Xbox. Welcome back to Next Gen Console Watch. IGN UK podcast.
Another big news kick, everybody.
And Nintendo Voice Chat. Day 5 of IGN's coverage of Gamescom 2025 starts right now.
Hello, and welcome to the final day of Gamescom Studio on IGN. I'm Jada Griffin.
And I'm Max Scoville. All week long here at Gamescom, we've been talking to some of the folks making the biggest and best games in the world. We've handed out awards at the Gamescom Award Show, and we've broken down every cool new trailer and revealed the debut at opening night live.
If you missed any of our coverage,
Well, I don't like being asked the same question either, right?
channel to catch up on everything.
There's a lot. But today's Gamescom Studio Show is all about podcasts, something that IGN knows a whole lot about. If you're looking for deep, insightful, and occasionally pretty silly long-form conversations about video games, you came to the right place. Today we've got brand new Gamescom Studio episodes of geek media shows like Outside Xbox, Nintendo Voice Chat, and Next Gen Console Watch, all here to unpack the biggest video game news here at Gamescom. Plus, I'll be taking a look ahead at some of the biggest game releases besides some.
Yes, I am, because I didn't know until they posted on YouTube that was it. I thought it was going to be like 10 or 11, but yeah, I'm just seeing what they was talking about. It's a rerun, yep. Watch, see what they talking about. Yeah, that's the thing, Roy Boss. Me, you should go to Gamescom one of these years, but going across overseas to Germany will cost a lot of money. I knew it because, well, that's all right. I still will clean up stuff, but I'm watching the reruns now, so they can put up for some views later.
I'm going to kick things off because I played Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, arguably the biggest surprise reveal from opening night live. And if people don't know what this game is, it's essentially an Arkham game, the Rocksteady games. But and I think that's kind of what people want to see, and I think they'll be happy to know that I played it and I pretty much felt like, yeah, this is an Arkham game, but in Lego form. There's still that charm, but you know, you've got that like tight, Rocksteady combat. Just you're hitting bricks instead of flesh. We all know I like.
That's what. That's why I said maybe it isn't. But see, they're overseas at Gamescom. I guess their time zone is different from ours.
What did I do? I played a full mission early on from Lego Batman, and it was set in Ace.
Thank you, Stephen Price. Thank you.
And we went through Ace
Pierce.
tracking down Red Hood. If you're familiar with some of the stories from Batman, you might know what happens at the end of that mission. Maybe Red Hood turns into a different villain. If you've read The Man Who Lost, you know what happens. If you've seen Tim Burton's 1989 Batman, you might kind of know what happens. But
this game looks pretty dope.
What they're doing with the story of this game, they're kind of creating their own Batman story, and using bits and bobs from all other films and comics and games to try and, eventually
What's up?
I was told by the director that this game, Joker may have this origin
Oh,
story
okay.
on the story,
Makes
maybe
sense.
more of the Heath Ledger Joker from the Dark Knight. So you're kind of getting versions.
But see,
of
Gamescom should be going global.
It's-
And I'm gonna make a special video about that too. Game's kind of evil. I should do a special video on that later.
It's essentially the Brits of the films, right? And the comics. And,
lovely little metaphor.
oh, you know.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. But I enjoyed it. I also got a little taste of the open world, which I only got to play out for like 8-10 minutes. But I feel like that's where a lot of people enjoy.
Yeah, I see a lot of people leaving the event now because it's over.
Kind of going around that open world and kind of doing, there's rainbow trophies people are pleased to see, there's secrets to be fun, there's Batmobile time trials to do, that's where I feel like a lot of the fun's going to come. The missions themselves, very fun as well, and you can see here.
What's up, Allison?
Rolling across. There's that Lego silliness, like, you can use your stealth tone down to like perches, but instead of just like, flying down and battering them, you'll land on them like really fast.
That's at the bottom of it. How close to Arkham style combat?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's not, at least from what I play, not going to be as complex. I don't think there's going to be many like
Okay, now.
Exactly. You can see here, you can punch your square.
Yeah, it'll be back in August 2026.
And then once you meet this
Of course, like I said in the video, if people got money to go to Germany for Gamescom, good luck. For a 5-day event, that's cost a lot of money. And Evil don't cost that much. It's 3 days. But I get it. It's all 1 month.
And that will like, if you played Arkham games, you're kind of into that muscle memory.
Maybe.
But then there's also the Lego side. This isn't just an Arkham game.
What's up, Stephanie Wade?
There's the puzzle, so you have to switch between the two
I know, it's very packed there, dude. I hope you have a good day. Thank you, Stephanie. And you do too. And I hope you do too. Yes, it's packed. I was just watching the recap right now, how people just went back, just leaving like, man, you got some still standing around, just checking out other things, but yeah, people are leaving the arena, dude.
A new kind of more of a 3D ball again.
I tell you what, if I can, me too. When I find a good, nice paying job that's gonna pay me really good, and I got enough money to save up just for that trip alone, I'm gonna go. Even if I have to work a full-time job just to save up all that money, or part-time, either one. Game's kind of evil. That's the one thing you need to go to. Out of those two. One of those two.
I played it, I did tell you, but I'm not going to, we're probably going to watch it anyway.
What I'd like to know is what is your journey with Psycho? He's got his own glide.
But see, if me and you gonna go, we're gonna have to save a lot of money because it's a 5-day event. Remember that. I saw that. Yep, Gamescom is the new E3. It is. Because E3 was still around when nobody be talking about Gamescom like this. When nobody be talking to Gamescom. But yeah, who gonna sit there for 5 days? I mean, that's a good vacation. Just for that by itself. Now, if you live across seas and you got money like that, I guess you can go because you live overseas.
I can see the same, like, when you normally go through Lego levels, you maybe get that feeling of, I need to revisit with your abilities and find out, like, what the secrets are. I wasn't getting that as much, so I think maybe, yeah, they are going for the smaller cars. Maybe to more ape that Arkham thing of, like, the Arkham games really plays Batman and Agent Catwoman and sometimes Harley Quinn. Like, I think
that's why they made Gamescom. It is E3 but with a different name. Gotcha. I got you. I didn't know they changed their name.
It's great, but each of those characters felt very, very distinct in a way that Lego characters don't usually feel that way.
Yeah, and I mean, Jim Gordon was still fun, but
well, yeah, obviously, gotta pull out a little bit of that every now and again, but I'm pleased that he's not throwing batarangs, right? It doesn't make him feel like he's just Batman in a
in a four-man suit.
He has his little phone camera like this. So yes, it's interesting to see how it all comes together and how. So, like I said, I only got a taste of the open world. I want to see just how expansive it is, how many secrets there are. Because I don't know, I've been a fan of the open games ever since they started. But I like many people, I just want to do Batman like Rocksteady game. This is as close as we're going to get for now, I think. So yeah, I'm just really excited. I mean, from one plastic Lego bat to maybe one more human-like bat. A vampire bat.
Oh dear.
But Blood and Clawwalker is a game that you sort of live in.
Yeah, I'm surprised Rockstar didn't show up and talked about GTA 6. I know, right? That's what I was hoping for.
And that is not a disparaging remark at all. This is, as you say, it's a game. It is a lot of people worked on The Witcher 3.
Or they might save it for what you gonna call it,
Developers that have joined them at the studio.
the Game Awards, because you know the Game Awards.
Even like the vibe of like the art style and the graphics has a lot of The Witcher to it. The music, absolutely that kind of Polish sort of Slavic feel that The Witcher 3 has. And yes, it is a fantasy RPG, but there are.
Dude, don't come here with that stuff again today.
Which I think is going to build.
I know.
That game. So essentially, you play as a guy called Cohen.
Congratulations about older. That's my high school graduation certificate. That's no older, but
he's not a regular human because at night he turns into a vampire. Of course. So he's stuck between these two. He's a little bit like Blade, I suppose, kind of stuck between two worlds. And when I say that he turns into that at night, that's not like a narrative conceit. The game's literally on a day and night system, and a month-long kind of like Persona-style system where the game.
Except the magic words.
Yeah. So it is not a Persona game. Let's keep that, but it has certain elements in common. So basically, Cohen's family, for some sort of reason that I don't particularly know yet, but
no one. Yeah, that right. Dude, stop bringing up this dude. I mean, yeah, dude, I like wrestling. WWE move.
Is a currency in this game.
So let's not keep talking about 2026. I mean, 2026 haven't got here, man. What's the?
For example, the quest this was a very.
We know as for now WWE is doing stuff that ain't making no events right now. I mean, matches right now. They trying to promote TV deals with other companies right now. Let's talk about that. They ain't trying to book any matches. Not to maybe close to the end of the year.
He has all the abilities of a vampire, so you can walk at walls. You can do the plane shooting thing, where you can literally walk to the side of the building and walk up it.
Yeah, Brock is coming back.
And so while he was
but they don't know. They never say when. He just made an appearance at SummerSlam. That was it.
Beneath a cathedral. And so
until they put him in a feud with John Cena or somebody else.
Read about like these secret catacombs, steal a key, and then break into the catacombs. So it was kind of like a stealth sort of scenario, avoiding guards and all of that. Then they rewound time and showed you what it was like in the day, which is where kind of like the concept of spending time became much more clear. Basically, you don't know where these catacombs are, and there's no way to get into the library because it is now more heavily guarded. But because you're not a vampire with weird-looking teeth, you can talk to humans during the day, and humans are obviously awake. Is that what
so the vampire game? Okay.
Yeah, I would imagine that it happens at both kind of night and day, but certainly in the day when more people are awake. So
now, ain't this crazy? They do got a vampire game coming out, but Marvel don't want to know how to do a Blade video game. Make it make sense.
Will push time forward. And so what it is a case of is that like, I can dig deeper in
if they book it right.
And maybe find more.
But right now, WWE got so many people on their main roster that haven't even been booked.
Yeah.
Or been. I mean, most of them been cutting people.
And so basically, all of your major quests, when you're pushing the goal of the major quest forward,
Karen Cross got cut. Who else got cut?
And so basically, in the quest that they showed us, we.
That's why they probably run out of ideas.
Down into another section of the catacombs. Well, actually, we went to an asylum in search of some information for the deacon. Into so many places. And then the deacon eventually tells you about the secret catacombs. He gives you the ability to get in there, and then you go down there and find the secret sword. quest owner. So two different ways you can do it. A bit more of a side questy diplomacy way, or a bit more of a stealth kind of infiltration way.
Narratively, is the Predator going to like a new vampire sport? Is this something
He
that
just-
is suddenly...
He doesn't even know what he is.
Oh, okay.
There is obviously a prologue. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a prologue basically, and this is what I started talking to the developers after this to work out like how the quests are structured and how this time system works. And basically, at the start of the game, after you've done the prologue, there is something that is a bit close to, you know how Breath of the Wild.
I might try this game.
Prologue, you can immediately go to Hyrule Castle and basically go and kill Ganon, but it's going to be really, really difficult to do that. So that is how this game works. You've got 30 days to save your family. You can go straight to where your family are being held, but presumably they're being like hunkered down by incredibly difficult vampires. So the idea is that you play quests. Okay. The quests are not. It's not like quest 1, quest 2, quest 3. There's just a bunch of storylines in the world, and so.
Ooh.
You can run out of time, obviously, and maybe not do some of those quests. And one of the things they're telling me is the quest that they were showing me ended with Cohen being told, "You are a doorway, okay? You are."
It's confirmed after John Cena versus Brock versus Logan Paul. It would be John.
You never have to...
Yeah. I know. That's why I'm looking at the.
I know there's like, you know, night and day shit.
It's been a minute since we had a vampire game, right? Since Bloodborne. I mean,
this which does have that, like you have to hide.
Blood Rain. Yes, it's Blood Rain. It's been a minute.
It's less so because
I might get into this
vampires are
too.
a bit more present in the world. However, the vampires don't particularly like you, and the more kind of notorious you become through the game, the more you do to annoy them. That start building their resistances. There'll be more guards. There'll be more people kind of hunting you. There are different, I don't know every system that will come into play, but there are systemic pressures that will maybe force you to maybe take the stealthier route to reconsider.
Okay.
Also, Cohen gets pretty hungry as time goes on, and like you have to feed. He can feed on animals, but it doesn't really sustain his bloodlust very much. If you don't feed him, he might try and feed himself in the middle of conversations. So you might end up just randomly killing really important NPCs. So it's like we all know how much I'm into this sort of systemic sort of nature. So it's a very narrative kind of focused RPG with all of these very interactive quests, where you could just accidentally murder someone that's important to us.
I'm personally a little bit peckish myself, so why don't we take a little break, I'm going to get a little snack, and we will be back very soon for more of the IGN UK podcast at Gamescom 2025.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep-dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second map, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending on that blank. We're 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help.
One step at a time.
IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Earth Tree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more.
See? It's good, right?
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
IGN Plus is where your adventure begins. Plus is the place to get unlimited access to all the tools you need to beat your game.
yeah.
Here's what you need to know for bringing down Moonspawn.
Plus,
I hope they do a Resident Evil demo. Yeah, for people to play, right? Yeah, they should.
plus ad-free browsing on IGN. Plus, unlimited game hub tools like premium interactive maps with your own custom map markers, filters, marker notes, and more. Plus,
They should.
Thursdays, giveaways, and free game keys.
But it's Capcom. You know how they do with demos.
Plus, and start your adventure today.
But to be honest with you, Roy Boss, and I could be wrong on this. If they do ever drop the demo, it's gonna be close.
This is a very special game.
Might be close.
Of the IGN UK podcast. We're live in colour again. Our faces are here. Let's keep it.
They did, but now they might wait close to getting towards the release date for it, like in February. But if they do it, and I could be wrong, I hope it's around by.
Is it looking good?
I'm finna name them as either early September, early October, November. It might be December if they do drop the demo. Why? Game comes out February. They might give you a set date for pre-orders to the game, so which kind of makes sense. I already have it up towards the end of the year. That's a one-time demo. In January, do another one.
Spoke about this in the preview. Is that the shift in perspective from first to third person, and I think what I found really cool about that is that it's actually tailored to sort of what perspective you're playing. So like, if you're going through first person, you're running away from this.
Oh, they're talking about it right now.
Then that's going to control exactly as you'd expect. But when you're playing third person, suddenly Rex is going to be tripping over herself, bumping into different things.
Yeah, I think the thing is obviously first versus third person is like a fairly continuing debate among the Resident Evil fans. 7 and 8 obviously very distinctly in first person, working on that ET amnesia style horror.
Yeah.
Whereas and obviously the DLC for Resident Evil Village put in the ability to switch to third person.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like the next evolution of that, where kind of like I think regardless of whether you liked the classic third person or you're into first, it feels like the game is tailored for that approach, which must be a lot of work because I know that when we've spoken to developers in the past about offering both perspectives, it's a difficult thing to do. Like you say, completely bespoke animations in third person and kind of like bespoke, I guess, kind of like the way it frames things when you're from first person, which is my preferred way to play. I found that this demo is essentially you're in a corridor being chased by a stalker.
I was going to say that this is the first time I've actually seen a glimpse of this unfortunately looking creature, woman. I don't know who she is, what she is. I don't think we know what this stalker is. What the hell is going on with her?
I did. I beat 3 and 4. I think like 2 years ago, apart from different times. I beat 3 and 4. I'm with you. I haven't beat 7. I haven't beat 8. But I do need to get back on 7 before 9 come out, and 8. Maybe they'll put some views on my channel. On my channel.
When you see Nemesis or Mr. X or anyone else trying to approach you safely, don't do like a little complicated.
This is the perfect time for me to do it. It's almost September, so I should be doing it.
Approaches light and skin grams away, and I feel like that's just sort of a really fun, like sort of gameplay grounded way of making it seem
Got
like
lovely big feet. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, like what? So explain the visuals for people not watching. Just listen. What does she look like? Because I'm struggling to explain.
disgusting gremlin. That's all of
But
that
like
stuff.
9 foot tall.
My description of it is if you injected Gollum with Bane super serum.
I can see that, but also what looks like a very tattered cloth.
Yeah, a bit of Dobby's kind of like pillowcase.
It reminds me quite a bit of the horrible thing in Barbarian.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's actually not too far off. When you get introduced to her when a corpse falls out of the cupboard, and then that.
he bites the head of the
Yeah, but
corpse
that's
off.
the thing. I saw it done in third person, but then it's
So-
first person perspective for that cutscene.
Okay. If you let the monster get close to you, she bites you once, and then she gets close to you again, she can bite your head off. So my mention is,
Side of it, obviously, we all know that I'm obsessed with Alien Isolation, and it does feel like
ooh, sorry.
inspiration of stalking
So my
enemies,
mission would be when I
whereas
get this
it's kind of
game,
trying to push
I gotta
some
run from that
movement
monster.
to that. So, for example, she can burst through doors. She can, if you kind of like manage to get away from
8
that,
feet tall.
you can essentially climb up into a crawl space above the ceiling, and then drop down in
How
front of
big
you.
are these crawl spaces? She's the size of that house.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Resident Evil like house in Jerusalem, massive anyway. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've seen people comparing it just from me watching this footage for the first time. I am seeing a bit of that PT, almost a bit of Silent Hill in there.
Yeah.
This is obviously a demo. I don't know if it's going to be in the final game or
Yeah.
it's going to be in Steam here. Very much the survival part of Survival Horror. Not so much the action side. Do you think that's being kept from us at the moment?
Yeah, I can imagine so, just because obviously we've primarily been seeing Grace's perspective in first person, but I can imagine preferably the action elements of Resident Evil, typically over the shoulder first person, like Resident Evil 4 remake. And I can imagine they're holding off for now. Who knows who's going to be joining Grace in her adventures, but I can imagine it might be someone like Leon, considering we've seen, destroyed remnants of the RPG station.
My feeling is that it's either a demo, and I would hope these sections are in the game.
Yeah.
It's House Beneviento style stuff. I feel like the moment to moment Resi experience is almost certainly still going to be Resi.
Yeah.
It's got to be about managing your
See,
inventory.
they showing on a demo. You can't let her get to you. You got to keep running.
Lots of zombies. This will be the thing.
But it's a gameplay demo. But
What is your favourite?
what they say when the game comes out, you're on your own, pretty much.
I was talking more just in culinary.
I'm locked into
I'm a rosemary guy. Put some rosemary on some. I'd say a little bit too on the heavy savory side for me. Oregano's good.
Talk about more games. I played a game called Hollow Knight Silksong.
But when the demo comes out, I'm eager to play the demo.
Dale was meant to be this podcast, but he headbutted a wardrobe. So Jesse has finally stepped in, and I think done a stellar job so far. But yeah, Hollow Knight Silksong is a lovely little Souls-like Metroidvania. If you don't know what Hollow Knight is, where have you been? I mean, it's a good game, beautiful art style.
Yeah, the Clinker.
After 6 to 7 years.
My day's going good, Clinker. And yours?
I played over an hour in the queue to play for 20
This right here,
It's like
this animated game right here,
It's more Hollow Knight.
theme song,
That's never been a struggle, but I can't do
comes out next month. That I should get.
You might like this one more because it's tiny. You can have mantle on the edges.
Oh,
That's actually a game changer. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. It's very good.
Hollow Sun, whatever you call this game.
I played a couple of the sections. I
Ooh.
played the first level of the game, which was called Moss Grotto.
This game
And
looks
that was
fun.
That was very much a reintroduction to Hollow Knight, the platforming. But that one only had just the sort of like the needle and a jump ability, and took down the first boss. And then jumped into a later area called Deep Docks, which was much more complex in design. It was like the labyrinthine.
Must be alright. Alrighty.
A lot of mechanical elevators and levers
That's good.
to get around.
What monster are you stuck on?
Later, it was like this sort of like balletic sword dancer. Tried it once, didn't get very far. That's going to be difficult. I think I've heard people say this one feels more difficult. But it's so hard for me to say for this like little section, but I do like the feel. I like the Hornet, the new protagonist. He's kind of bigger in the front. You feel more imposing, whereas the last game did feel more like a fight for survival at every opportunity.
Yeah,
this one felt a bit more like I can go toe to toe a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, like, the art style is it's completely timeless, and I absolutely love the first few hours
Hollow
of
Knight
and then
Silk Song.
The moment you've got to jump over spikes, it becomes a little bit too much. I'm terrible at too much.
I must try that too.
Games. Who wants Matt?
Oh.
It expands. I've heard it's pretty large, but how much mass effect is there?
God, yeah. So this is Owlcat's new game. They obviously traditionally have made isometric RPGs. This is massive. Like they completely are open to the fact that they're building on the idea of Mass Effect. And
I do like that's a thing this year. We're kind of getting games from developers like, well, they're not giving you what you want, so we'll give you a version of it.
Yeah. And this is it's a 3D combat kind of forward RPG. Lots of conversation, kind of like it's obviously based in the Expanse. It's set parallel to kind of the first couple of books. Uses the TV's art style, and so it is a hard sci-fi kind of game, which means you're not going to get the space wizards, which has me questioning a little bit, like will the combat just purely be guns? Because what they were showing us was just assault rifle, and you do get the rocket grenade. Have you seen the rocket grenades in the Expanse? The idea is so you can actually fight in not zero G but very low gravity situations. So there was a section that was showing us where like you're mag locked onto the side of a spaceship or space station and fighting, but it means that obviously when you throw a grenade, the grenade would
Action Clanker. I got both. I got 7 and 8.
So they just propel themselves towards enemies.
I do.
Absolutely.
And
more importantly, what I'd like to know is, do I need to
I do need to catch up on 7 again.
what this mod is?
No. So I am a
Because I was like at
the Expanse,
14%
my memory of
on the
those
game, so I should go
kind of
back and
got
see
faded, but And I did recognise certain situations they were talking about. It takes place in the aftermath of the Eros incident, which is a big part of like season 1, and you hear about like the Canterbury.
But that's gonna bring me views, right? Resident Evil gonna bring me views, right?
Into the expanse. It is its own story, and those events are just in the peripheries. And so I think like it will have its own crew. It's like imagine if Mass Effect was on the side of a set of books that you didn't know existed.
Yeah, fair enough.
You've kind of, well, the comparisons have been made by everyone to Mass Effect, and you mentioned combat, and that's not really what I come to Mass Effect for. It's fine in Mass Effect, but it's really the relationships between characters, it's the story writing, it's the quests. Do you get a glimpse of just if that's going to be up to par in this?
I think that's what it needs to prove. I'm sort of expecting it to.
All right, I'll be around. See you.
This, their books, sorry, their games are like books in that like you spend a huge amount of time with it. This is a shorter game than like Road.
I probably won't be on this stream too long. I'm gonna see what kind of they got talking about, and
Mass Effect, kind of like a 30-hour RPG, but in a 1-hour demo, there's only so much you can know. They only showed me one companion, which I thought was quite cool. It was a guy called Jay, who is your sibling, and so their character model is based on the character you create in character creation.
That's really cool.
But the writing at that point didn't feel like it was, at the highs of Mass Effect or even Outcast's previous RPGs. But
It's not to experience that, the demo
in a demo that's only an hour and mostly was to do with demonstrating the combat and choices. The expanse is colder.
All right, thanks, Clinton. I see you around, my friend. Thanks for coming. You and Roy Boss. See y'all guys later. I'm probably gonna be streaming this for too long, but when they get to some good stuff, I'm probably gonna end the stream and go do some stuff too. Go out for a walk. Might go to Starbucks and go for a walk. So I ain't gonna be on too long myself.
Absolutely bonkers looking rig for the game PVKK. You're a man who has a place in his heart for Steel Battalion. You're getting a little bit of that from it.
100%, and I think PVKK goes beyond what everyone loves about Steel Battalion. It's not only is it got, you can see it on the screen here, it was a humongous controller setup. With, I think it had over 160 individual buttons and switches you just mess around with.
Yeah, most you went through my page. I hope what you said.
Possible. I
like what I saw. It was cool.
To do it now, but if you don't know what PVKK is, you can take control of a planetary defense cannon. You get calls from your commandant every single day. You can live in what is essentially a little office desk, joined with a massive planetary defense cannon. It's almost got sort of like 40k aesthetics.
Okay, yeah.
With what you're dealing with. But you get random little calls from your commandant and it says, okay, today you might have 3 or 4 invading dropships coming to attack us. You need to blow them up. And then it's your choice whether you want to actually listen to your commandant or not. I mean, that's sort of like through moral balancing. Because you could decide to destroy your research. You're going to get points back in your upgrade station, but maybe the next day you might get a note from your boss.
Well, what's all this where you actually physically get to press buttons or one more slowly?
I mean, it's fantastic, especially in the early game where everything is so mechanical. You're going to have to,
pretty clear that they don't want Shador Sanders at Cleveland.
Every little bit involved, and get it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they release Shador Sanders. That'll be a damn shame, but also like be a blessing in disguise if this does happen, because
They built a Gamescom require you to actually
you don't
swap pieces
give
in.
Oh,
a
they're
player
a little bit easier, but the
6
actual base
attempts
thing, you like overload
at
it
passing
now.
if you really
I'll
want
be
to
right
see
back.
his evaluation.
Gotcha.
And some of the things you can take there's a lot of people.
I mean, I did say we wouldn't do it like it, but we kind of have to do the biggest game
We found a pretty good noodle place, in which I only ate rice, because I don't actually like noodles. There's some very good chicken.
Absolutely destroy soccer. Obviously, it's not quite put enough for I'll leave that to next year. But it's a nice put better, that's all.
I had my first corner in about 6 years, and I'm sorry.
Have you found any unusual snacks in your supermarket on Livers?
No, we tend to just stick to our various stores, don't we? We're very just
I bought 9 bars.
Oh, 9 yesterday. Why is that? Which one are you most looking forward to?
Well, there's that new one that's based on their crispy rolls, those old kind of
We aren't sponsored by Reds.
If you've listened to our podcast before, this is usually how it ends.
3 years ago, I dropped a wrist on the roof.
Recording a podcast.
Yeah, I know, that's unfortunately there were no wrist balls in our hands. Yeah, but there we go. That is it for a very rare look at our faces on the IGN UK podcast. Remember that the IGN UK podcast is an IGN production and part of the Geek Media Network. We'll be back on Friday. We're scheduled to talk more about what we saw at Gamescom, and we've got plenty more coming up from Gamescom Studio. So yeah, don't go anywhere. Thank you.
I'm once again here at the Borderlands 4 booth at Gamescom 2025, and honestly, it's kind of hard to miss. Borderlands 4 marks the return of the iconic looter shooter franchise, and this time it's got a darker and grittier tone. The hidden world of Kairos has been under the rule of the Timekeeper for thousands of years, and he's manipulated the population to the point where they have cybernetic implants called vaults. Then a rogue moon teleported into Kairos' orbit, exposing the world and sending it into complete chaos. The Timekeeper locked down the city and sent his commanders to deal with the fallout of this cataclysmic event while he watches over the planet from the safety of his tower. Those commanders include Callus, the Ripper Queen, who rules over the shattered lands of Carcadia Burn and denounces the Timekeeper's mind-controlling methods. The hulking idolater Sol, who terrorizes the rolling hills of the Faith Fields and remains loyal to the Timekeeper, and Vile Lictor, overseer of the Terminus Range's frigid peaks. All this is to say, the people of Kairos are tired of being under the Timekeeper's rule, and that's where you and your friends come in. Playing as Vault Hunters, you'll be in charge of lighting the spark of this revolution, teaming up with new and returning characters like Claptrap and Moxie, and of course collecting tons of weapons with ludicrous firepower along the way. As you travel Kairos, make sure you keep an eye out for points of interest you can claim for your Crimson Resistance, weakening the Timekeeper's grip on the planet. Once you've wiped out any nearby enemies, you can reclaim places like safe houses to expand your fast travel options, or silos with decommissioned order communications balloons that let you take to the sky, scope out your next target, and aid your search for elusive vault key fragments. You can check it all out when Borderlands 4 comes to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S on September 12th, and it's coming to Nintendo Switch 2 on October 3rd of 2025. Now, if you'll excuse me.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank. Each episode will reveal one of the movies, talk about why it belongs, and finally find out where it ranks. Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Catch up on all your favorite shows with up-to-the-minute gaming and entertainment news with Geek Media Podcasts. Welcome to a very special episode of IGN Gamescom as you cover from all things gaming and the latest game releases. Tune into Podcast Beyond for the biggest PlayStation news. Man, this is a cool one. Everything Xbox on Podcast Unlocked. Catch up with your Super Nintendo.
Dude, why are you stuck on matches that is not having going to be announced yet? I mean, yeah, WWE going to be announcing some pay-per-views. Some WWE, Murray, Malazan. Hold on, let's stop saying the same thing, okay? We don't know what WWE got in store for the rest of the year of booking. Things change, all right? We don't know if John Cena going to wrestle a crown jewel. Jey Uso, they may have Jey Uso doing something else in the stories. Becoming a heel, who knows? Or Gunther might become a babyface. You know, we don't know how that story's going to play out, man. Let's not keep doing this. For real. We don't know how the rest of these stories going to play out the rest of 2025. Things could be different. So let's not assume. Yeah, John Cena will be Clash of Paris next week. But after that, we don't know what they got planned for John Cena, Jey Uso. We don't know.
Once again, Xbox has a huge presence here at Gamescom, the biggest video game convention on Earth. To break down all the biggest Xbox game reveals here at the show, let's check in with the Outside Xbox podcast for a very special episode coming up right now.
Hello and welcome back to Gamescom 2025. I'm Dave Douglas from Outside Xbox. This is Mike Channel from Outside Xbox. And this is Ellen Rose from Outside Xbox. While everyone was looking the other way, we got ourselves into the stage, and now it's ours.
I'm never leaving this sofa's too comfy.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about the very best of what's here at Gamescom 2025. But first of all, a little shout out to our good friend and colleague Andy Farrand, who couldn't be here.
Yes.
Hi, Andy.
He's holding down the fort.
Yeah.
No one's getting in that fort.
No. Protect the fort, Andy. Thank you. Right, how is your Gamescom going?
Amazing, yeah. Real sensory overload. I think it's sort of fair to say that Gamescom's like truly back this year. I know a lot of people who went last year and had a really good time and saw lots of stuff, but I feel like it's just another level this year. So many games, so many people, so many familiar faces for us, you know, as people who've been around the block a few times. But yeah, it's, I certainly haven't. I won't speak for anyone else. But yeah, it's an amazing show, and yeah, it really feels like the full force of the industry is behind it.
Yeah, the vibes are back. It's nice seeing everyone getting excited and like just seeing all the games and booths and just being like, oh yeah, cool, things to look forward to.
For someone who's not been to Gamescom, just to set the scene, how would you describe?
I would describe it as sensory overload,
Yes,
but video game flavoured sensory overload. So there's some amazing booths. You know, you go into the Netflix booth and they've built an entire like one-piece pirate ship. You know, there's themed stuff. All these games. This sort of as a public show, you know, rather than just a press focused thing. It's
What's up, Local Chicken 2014? What's up, my friend?
I think you have to kind of come and experience.
GTA 6 ain't coming out till next year. Supposed to be made, but I keep hearing now they might push it to September. Which that'd be kind of cool because it'd be time for kids to go back to school anyway. I'd be okay with September if not May. So yeah, and I'm doing good. What about yourself?
I think, you know, certainly in Europe, there's nothing like
Doing a recap of Gamescom, last day Gamescom. Then I'm finna chill after that.
And things like that. So, but you know, it's just if you're a fan of games, and you want to celebrate your hobby.
That's good.
I think it's an astonishing place to be.
Local Chicken, go to Tony Loves Fighting Games.
Yes.
I'm at 19 subscribers. Go to Tony Loves Fighting Games. Help support that channel, buddy.
But they had a Wednesday.
But I'm gonna have to put the thumbnail in my. Gotta update it. That's why I probably ain't gonna have to update it.
Also loves Wednesday, so we were
trying to win him, man. Like, claw machines have other ideas.
Yeah, we didn't win it. We didn't win a single thing.
3 goes, nothing.
All right, now on to the actual games.
Yes.
Mike.
Let me tell you about Project Spectrum, right? So this was, I think it's fair to say, one of the big surprises of the ONL show, Green Light Live. We haven't heard anything about it previously. It is a horror tactical shooter with asymmetrical multiplayer elements. So it's built by Team Jade.
Hope you get more views and likes, bro. God bless you, even if you want from me. Thank you, Jess Cook. But I do need some people on my fighting channel. Cause see, when I hit 500 on this channel, I can upload my videos back on YouTube. I need 500 to upload again.
Atmospheric haunted house mansion in the rain.
That's what people ain't trying. I try people to try and get to understand. I already had 19 subscribers on Tony Loves Fighting Games. I'm already at that. But I need more subscribers on here too to get me to 500. The sooner I get to 500, I can post more videos on my channel on YouTube. And it will help Tony, but they will help Tony Loves Fighting Games grow even better.
You can see it on the screen here, this sort of almost like Alan Wake, Silent Hill, sort of misty forest. What it reminds me of is games like Fear. Do you remember Fear as a sort of horror tactical shooter, but crossed with kind of Rainbow Six Siege style action? So yeah, hugely impressive debut at ONL, a bit of buzz around it, and we've actually seen it being played live in front of us. So we haven't had hands on, but we have seen the developers themselves playing a sort of true asymmetric.
I do have relatives.
So what you can see
I do.
is this sort of these kind of PvE elements, so these apparitions and things like that. So there is a very strong PvE element, but there's also this creature called the Executioner, which I'm sure you'll see later on, which is this sort of. Have you seen the game Carrion?
with its kind of weird motion.
And a little bit like the Mimics of Prey
yes,
as well.
It's got that sort of vibe. So there is a player playing as that executioner creature and stalking you around the thing. But as you can see, I mean, like,
hello. This is spooky enough.
It's not brilliant, there's a mannequin.
Things falling off the wall. So like these little scripted sequences and stuff. One of the things I think is quite cool is it has a sort of a meter measuring your kind of mental well-being and mental state. And there are a lot of games that kind of do that. It's almost always just a negative thing when your quote-unquote sanity level drops below a certain threshold. But what the developers were telling us when we went to see the game was that actually, in certain circumstances, this sanity system can actually work in your favour. So there are certain characters and classes where having a lower level of sanity will actually make you more effective in combat. So it's a really interesting balance. It's like, how do you want to play it? Do you want to play as one of those people who stays super safe and tries to maintain their sort of, their fear level?
Okay.
Or do you want to like sail close to the wind and really allow it to drop? The problem is, as you allow that level to drop, you will be attacked by sort of apparitions. I mean, this stuff's scary enough already. But then these sort of shadowy figures will appear in this real sort of like, sleep paralysis apparitions.
Yeah, that was the exact.
And they will attack you. They can physically attack you. But what they were saying was that there might be things like shortcuts in the environment that you can't see when when your mental level is kind of hunky-dory. But as you descend more into the kind of madness of what's going on, shortcuts may open themselves up to you and things like that. So I just thought the environments were super slick. The enemy design looks really, really creepy. And obviously the asymmetric stuff, which we'll see shortly, is super appealing as well. Obviously it's got that kind of like co-op shooter vibe. Again, very inspired by things like Rainbow Six Siege, but also the novel Solaris apparently was a bit that kind of psychological horror, according to the developers of the game.
It's a highfalutin reference.
Yeah, well, I like it. I think culturally, there's been a big divide, I think, in video games, like West and East divide in terms of developers and things. But obviously, we're seeing a lot more games coming from the West, Black Myth, Wukong, exactly. Sorry, from the East to the West.
Yeah.
And so they don't necessarily have the same influences. What we can see here is the executioner character. It's a real sort of Lovecraftian horror monster. What you'll have noticed in this gameplay is how powerful and fast this creature is, and I did ask them about how it was going to play, because it seemed like this thing was massively overpowered. And what they were saying was, actually, to a degree, there's a kind of loadout system with that creature, so you'll build it the way you want to play it as well. But what they were showing us was it in one of its fastest and most aggressive forms. But there are other forms of that will be kind of stealthier and more about stalking the other player characters. So there's going to be variety there. I did ask them if they were ever planning on adding, because that's quite a distinctive character design in terms of the tentacles and things. I did ask them if they were considering other sorts of horror-inspired designs, and they said nothing planned yet.
Why did you make a YouTube channel if you didn't mind me asking? Well, it started with T-Bechilln first and foremost, because YouTube do have my back history. Actually, I've been on YouTube since 2015. I never got to use it until I was thinking of what can I use for YouTube. This was started it. I had this channel since 2015. I just never got into it like I'm doing right now. Because, YouTube is still growing, but it wasn't doing like it is now. And I had to change it because I gave away my government name on my first YouTube channel. That's why I didn't want to go by as Tony Mayberry, because I decided to call it T-Bechilln. Not Tony Mayberry, that's my government name, but I didn't want to go back to that no more because I want to be known as T-Bechilln. And Tony Loves Fighting Games. I just left it simple. To make content, was gym videos,
At one point,
Food, cooking, video games, anime, sports.
A sort of flaming shovel.
Depends on
So
what I put on my
they want to have
channel.
that kind of inventive crafting thing, but it's got to be something.
Well, I got another request that people want more food reviews, so I'm gonna do a food review
When you're teetering on the brink
of another candy bar.
insanity.
Yes.
All right, one to watch. Any word on the release?
Anybody likes Twix?
They said.
And I was at Walgreens, I should got it yesterday. They got a snickerdoodle caramel version, and Doritos came out with the pizza burger. So I'm gonna do some food reviews on things.
I think they've been really heartened by the response to it at ONL as a debut of their game. So they're very excited, but I think it's a little ways out, but what a strong show.
And that was Project Spectrum.
That was Project Spectrum.
Okay, now next on the agenda here at Gamescom. The three of us, we nipped over and played some of the Xbox handhelds.
Yes.
The ROG Xbox Ally X and
Correct.
the ROG Xbox Ally
Not
X.
X.
Xless. Alright.
That's so weird. Okay.
Alright, we're not calling it that. We're not calling it that. Actually, just before we sat down, just recently actually, Microsoft confirmed the date.
Yes.
So it's October the 16th for the release date on
Very
both of those. Yet to confirm the pricing, although stuff that is $900.
The rumor is that, yeah.
For the fancy one.
Yes.
And $550 for $550 for the slightly less fancy one.
Yeah.
Chunky.
But reflective of the performance of these devices, right?
So-
I think, perhaps if you're used to your handhelds being, Nintendo Switch or maybe even Steam Deck, these are, a lower priced handhelds, but there are these kind of super powerful PC-based handhelds that have existed like the original ROG Ally, and these are phenomenally performant bits of kit, essentially.
Yeah, the Xbox handheld coming out October 16th. Anybody gonna get that?
About the price of two Nintendo Switch 2s.
Right.
But having played it, I was quite impressed by what we played. Played a bit of Forza Horizon 5 on there. It was buttery smooth. Looked really, really nice on
It
the
did.
screen. And so you're really paying for, I think, current gen games to be played in a handheld form factor, which, in terms of the generations of video games before this, that has not been something that's been possible, right?
Oh, and you were playing Lies of P.
Yeah.
On the X. Oh, the X one, the fancy
The
one.
X, the fancy one, yeah.
Okay, the black one.
Yeah.
How you find it?
It looked so crisp. It looked like, because that part of that game
Who?
is, the
Hold that thought. Let me write that person's name down. What's his name? He called.
It's so important to, it's all about timing, those kind of Souls-like games.
I'm gonna do this while I'm in the chat, guys.
I
Write
felt like
this
I
down
was very responsive and
so I can look that person up later.
his hair, his hair.
If not later, tomorrow. So much to do in one day.
Okay, and form factor wise, it was roughly as tall as my head.
Yes.
So it's large. It's large in charge, and what do you make of the weight?
It was way lighter than I was expecting. Now, obviously there's a difference between playing something for 5 minutes and how heavy it feels then versus playing for an hour.
Playing on your back looks like it.
Exactly, yeah. And not dropping on your face. I was quite, we looked at it.
Jess Cook, thank you for letting me putting that person's name on the stream. Don't look that person up. There is a YouTuber that makes videos about being lonely streamers like you, and he supports you and send you his followers to subscribe. Hope that you come across. I will do that. If that works, I'll give you a shout out on my next stream because you put me on some game today. Thank you. Thank you. I should go ahead and look him up after I finish the stream, but if not, I got all day and tomorrow to look this dude up. So, because I know that's gonna be other things I may want to do. Another stream too.
So I think a lot of people find the Switch 2 too slim, and you need the Switch 1 as well. And it gives them that kind of like gamer's claw sort of like handcraft. I think the sort of curved wings, which include rumble as well, I think will make it quite a comfortable thing to play.
I had caught the light up rings around the thumbstick
Yes.
with the various colours, and you reckon they're going to be customizable?
Yeah, I think based on gaming laptops and
I would expect.
things like that,
Yeah.
you'll be able to go into, there'll be an ROG
toolbox of some sort where you can go and customize those. If you have a particular shade or aesthetic you're going for, it's sort of one thing that kind of reminds you that this is actually like a PC product first and foremost. And actually, the games we were playing, we're not playing in a kind of Xbox compatibility mode. What we were playing were the PC versions of those games, and that is, I guess,
Wait. I'm gonna wait.
Of, contextual something that needs to be
Gotta get a refill of water real quick.
Xbox native games play and perform on this piece of hardware. Now, obviously, if the PC version runs brilliantly,
Oh, it's an S.
it's run the sort of power to play these games effectively. But it's all about how that translation layer, you know, the key.
Replace the Z with an S.
Will play your Xbox games.
All right, I did.
Games on the go, and we're yet to see that.
You're not yet to see that. Right, that's the ROG Xbox Ally X, or without the X, here at Gamescom. And now we're going to take just a moment to kick back and enjoy the sumptuous premium sofas here on the stage. We'll be right back after the break, and we're going to talk about Kirby Air Riders, outside Xbox's 30th birthday, and a whole bunch more from Gamescom 2025. We're not going away, so don't you go away either.
Hey you! Looking for a way to wear your fandom with pride? The IGN store is the ultimate destination for awesome merch and collectibles on the biggest games, movies, shows, and everything in between. Cruise the wasteland in style with a Vault Dweller hoodie and replica Pip-Boy. Kick back and relax to some of the best game soundtracks ever pressed on limited edition vinyl. Or level up your whole wardrobe with a massive selection of officially licensed apparel. From iconic properties like Star Wars, The Legend of Zelda, to newer fan favorites like Atomfall and Expedition 33, the IGN store has you covered. You can also find hats, jewelry, action figures, board games, model kits, art books, and even snacks. Whatever you're into, you're bound to find something. See for yourself, head to store.ign.com today.
Catch up on all your favorite shows with up-to-the-minute gaming and entertainment news with Geek Media Podcasts.
All right.
A very special episode of IGN Games Here.
Thank you, Jess Cook, for being a good supporter, man. Good night, my brother. Good morning over here still in my country, but good night over there to you. Hope to see you tomorrow for Raw and NXT on Tuesday.
And get all the latest console news and rumors with next-gen console launch.
You funny. May Jess bless you in your late night sleep. For sure.
Geek Media Podcasts, the best podcasts.
But then again, I'll do King's Court later on tonight too, so I'm gonna be kind of on and off and streaming for a second today.
Even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank. Each episode will reveal one of the movies, talk about why it belongs, and finally find out where it ranks. Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever we get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the stage here at Gamescom 2025. We're having a lovely time here up on the stage in IGN's glass box of gaming wonders. Thanks for having us, IGN. Now, Gamescom, Mike,
Yes.
before we proceed, is it's a special occasion for Outside Xbox, as
Always.
YouTube channel, is it not?
Yeah.
It is an anniversary because Outside Xbox was founded,
Yes.
was begun, was birthed
Yeah.
here at a Gamescom.
Yes. Yeah, so I moved from official Xbox magazine. My final day was the day before Gamescom, and my first day on Outside Xbox was the first day of Gamescom. So literally launched directly into it.
Flew straight to Cologne.
Yeah, genuinely flew straight, went from my leaving do straight to the airport to Cologne. So that was my that's my supervillain origins.
Yeah, but
Um,
for Andy, who again, listen, Andy.
Yeah.
He'd been kind of like setting things up for.
Yeah, he'd been working away for a couple of weeks on getting everything set up. But yeah, so Gamescom was very special for us. It's really nice to be back actually. Because yeah, that was our first sort of wide-eyed like launch, and it was really nice as a new channel to be able to meet a bunch of different developers and see a bunch of games and then have a bunch of content to really start to talk. So a show like Gamescom was a perfect place to show. Birthday.
Right now, back to the games.
Yes.
Okay. You've played Kirby Air Riders. You watched the 45 minutes Nintendo Direct of Kirby Air Riders. What can you tell us about Kirby Air Riders?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I got hands-on with Kirby Air Riders, and the one word that I would use to sum it up is chaos.
Okay.
Is chaotic. But in the best way. So like, for people who haven't played it, and I found the Direct extremely useful because it told me how to play the game. They were like, it's basically Mario Kart, but also it's not Mario Kart. Don't play it like Mario Kart, otherwise you'll crash all the time.
Direct quote from the Nintendo
Yeah.
Direct.
Yeah.
Basically.
Is that strong? Yeah, we want to do that then. So yeah, and so 16's a British game. So basically, the only control you need to worry about is going left and right. Don't push forward because you will steer yourself down into the ground. And then you use the B button to basically kind of like drift in and then push hard out of corners. And it's all about building up your speed boosts. And then here as well, you know, you're collecting various weapons and power-ups and stuff that you can use around the course. And so what's exciting as well for people who played the original game is there's a ton of new Kirby characters in there. Previously it was like basically Kirby and like one of them.
Like this guy with the super spicy.
Yeah, the super spicy, he's just like throwing food at people and making things explode. I mean, brilliant. Little mushrooms, like got extra protection with that, and it's great. You just, everything is absolutely amazing. So I wish, so my little hands-on, we didn't do much of the actual racing. So there's like another mode within the area like that. You've got like a city that you sit in, you go around and you collect. There's like a ground where you just go hog wild and collect as many power-ups as you possibly can, and then you're thrown into a mini game. And depending on all the power-ups that you've picked up, that is what sort of determines what mini game that you will be best at. And so like you get to like 4 things that you can choose, and it's like, oh, should you go for this one because you're more powerful? Like there's one way you can like really like beat everyone up, or hey, you've got more flying skills, you could do a flying thing. So like, and I did that, and it's the round before. So here we go, the urban district here. You're riding around, and you're just smashing things up, collecting all these power, and it's absolute chaos. It's absolute chaos. How many people were you playing? So I had 4 other journalists like playing with us, and then a bunch of CPU practice. And also, as you're gathering up all of these power-ups, you can just absolutely rinse each other up, like blowing things up. There was a thing that I kept picking up the spike ball, and you throw a spike ball, and it just like you can smash other players to bits with it. There's all these power-ups, and everything you're trying to prevent other people from picking up all of these power-ups, so that you can have the edge when it comes to the next round of the game. But like playing it, I really felt like. So yeah, this is the melee version. This feels like a game that is easy to learn but hard to master. Because I was like, you know, it's only one button. It's only one button. You go left and right. It's fine. And I was just like, I think I'm doing this today. And it's just like going in balls, and then I came out of it like, oh, what? Great! Oh my god! What am I doing? Yeah, like one of them I got like the most like power-ups at the end of it, and I was just going there. I improved. My first one I only got 25 power-ups. Second one I got like 79 power-ups. And it worked out the system. But I think Kirby Air Riders, fans of the original game are going to be extremely happy with this, because this is just like layers upon layers more than the previous game, especially with all these extra bits. And it's like the gourmet race.
Tell me about the gourmet race.
Just I didn't get a hand on it, but my favourite thing is like you've got these wonderful like photorealistic things that you can pick up as you're driving around anyway. Yeah, like
very hungry caterpillar.
Yeah, because like even when you're not playing the gourmet race, like you can just like pick up apples as you're going around, and they help you with your health and stuff. But it's all about just trying to just get as many powers as possible and trying not to like explode.
Now, Mike,
Ideally.
why does Kirby need an air vehicle when he could eat an air vehicle?
Yeah, you can eat an air vehicle,
Wow.
possess an air vehicle.
You can eat
opponents.
you can eat opponents and enemies around to get power-ups. So I like powered up as Link, I went around with a little master sword, or you can like get other enemies around and like if they don't have like a particular power that you can use, you just immediately shoot a star out. And like when you're attacking other players as you're driving around, it doesn't slow them down. So I was getting hit, not getting slowed down. But what it does is give you a boost. So it's sort of different to Mario Kart. Mario Kart, you're trying to slow everything down so you can just get past the other. So
What's up?
This one, every attack. is just a boost to
SO3.
yourself.
Hi, what's up?
I think
Which is different, yeah.
the most unsettling thing is that now we know that actual food exists in the universe of Kirby, and yet he still chooses to eat people, objects, such as amphibians.
Predilection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like the thing is, a lot the other. So like, even though like they said in the direct, they didn't want to make Kirby this super overpowered character because like he can absorb other people. So other people could like capture and get powers other ways. So there are a couple of them that can get. Like there's one with a big long tongue that it's just
Cool. I should be playing as the one who throws curries around the place.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
This is my secret.
super spicy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not your customary, like, ultra-realistic
No.
based racing game, right? If you're interested.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's I think in a way the whole it's basically Mario Kart is almost self-deprecating. I think it's doing it in service.
100%, yeah.
That footage looks crazy. The
It is.
chaotic nature, like you say, the mini games. I think it's good that they showed this mode here at Gamescom because I think they have shown just the kind of racing stuff. I think people so soon after Mario Kart would have been a bit like, is this really the next
Yeah.
game that we're supposed to be excited about? Whereas this battle mode is clearly going to be a sort of great online multiplayer party game thing.
Okay, so another one to watch here at Gamescom 2025, that's Kirby Air Riders. Now, Mike,
Yes.
what else have you seen? I know you've seen a handful of interesting shows.
Yeah, so the joy of a place like Gamescom is that you can just wander around and there's all these different booths. Like every game you could possibly imagine is here, represented in some
What's up?
regard. So I went and checked out a few of my own sort of little interests. I played a bit of Project Motor Racing. Yeah, like little interested in racing cars and old arcade
What
games.
was the Mike
Yeah.
little interest for?
So essentially, I played a bit of Project Motor Racing. It's by the guys who made Project Cars. Back in the day, this is their new sort of
Little projects here at Gamescom.
yeah, they love
Yeah.
project. So you can see some footage here. They've announced Porsche are in the game. They've announced weather, time of day. Look at those puddles, beautiful. What I think is really interesting about this game and that might have an effect on other games on console is the addition of mods. So on console mods. So what they're saying is that modders are going to be able to make cars, even licensed cars, and submit them to their UGC, their user-generated content portal. And what they will do is talk with the manufacturers of those cars, approve the kind of handling of them, make sure they're of good quality, and place them on the console as free DLC, essentially made by modders. And I was asking them about this. I was saying, well, this is going to cost you a lot of money because licensees want to get paid, right? And they were saying we're going to run it as a loss leader. So essentially, they're going to pay the licensing fees. But in a way, if you think about it, a game like Gran Turismo, which has car updates to keep the game fresh, they have to develop those cars. The way this works is the community develops the cars, they approve them, they talk to the manufacturers, check that the manufacturers are happy, and check that the handling works, and then it's released to the game as a free DLC. So I thought it was a really interesting take, and they're doing it as a loss leader, but actually will keep this game fresh and allow them to have high quality content sort of crowdsourced by the community. So I thought that was really interesting because typically, mods for racing games are a real nightmare because if someone makes a modded Porsche are going to get upset about it if they're not getting paid. I thought this was a really interesting solution to that problem and something that could be applied to, I don't know, other sports games or other games where modded content might cross over with licensed, copyrighted stuff. So you imagine a game that, is an action game where people want to put a character from a TV show. Imagine if the developers could go to that TV show and license that character. So I thought that was really interesting.
Imagine the negotiations.
Well, this is it, and I am glad it's not my job. We met the person whose job it is.
Yeah.
So that he,
fair play to him, he seems confident in doing this one. But I love the ambition. I thought it was a really interesting thing. For a smaller team, for a smaller development team that can't necessarily fill their game with licensed cars, this is a great solution. And, you know, modding teams and modding in racing sims has been around since the year dot. So there'll be a community that I'm sure is ready to embrace that technology.
Interesting.
The other thing I saw was a sort of under the TV plug and play light gun solution. Now, remember arcade light guns? You know, Point Blank, Time Crisis, Pass the Dead, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you're taking us back.
Yeah, right. Well, the problem is that they only ever really worked with CRT television, so old cathode ray tube. What this device called Game, it's really awkward. It's called Game, but instead of AME, it's AIME.
Ungoogleable.
Utterly ungoogleable.
Okay.
It's just going to correct your spelling. But it's a great bit of kit. The idea is that it's plug and play. It uses AI because it doesn't everything these days.
Oh, is that why it's GAIM?
Yeah. Well, no, it's supposed to be aiming like you're aiming.
Oh.
Like it's also that.
Oh, also.
It
Okay.
could be like a 3-layer pun going on here.
No.
But the idea is that it works with your flat screen TV. It uses AI. It can kind of detect what's going on. So we have a bit of a play with that. It's plug and play. You just plug the guns in, plug in the HDMI and power, and it will play classic Namco shooting games, including Time Crisis, Point Blank, which is my favourite shooting game of all time. It is the greatest, and also a couple of Steel Gun games as well.
On a massive television.
Yeah, on a
Massive television.
Yeah, or any size television. They've sort of been training the AI with different living room environments and different screens and things to make sure it works. But it's great. I would say it's not quite as responsive as the original arcade things. There's a little bit of, as you drag the gun across, there's a little bit of drag there, but it's totally playable. And there's a version that comes with 2 guns. You can play Point Blank 2-player. I just think as a sort of Christmas, it's coming out before Christmas. Thing to sort of chuck on the TV for a party game. It's really nice to see light gun games coming back.
Okay, now we're running low on time.
Yes.
I'm going to have to press you. What's your MVG? What's your most valuable game of the show, including, if you can cast your mind all the way back to opening night live? Highlights, please. I'm going to go to you first.
I'm super excited about Resident Requiem. I think that's looking really, really sharp. I think having the crowd back at ONL, that absolutely got the biggest pop of the night. I was so hyped for it. Those guys are mixing, you know. So yeah, super excited about can't wait to play it.
All right, what about you, Anne?
I'm gonna have to be that person that says Silk Song. Like, just
Not just that person. There's a lot of people who
yeah,
say that.
there's a lot of
Yeah,
I just and like the thing is like I've got my Switch with me. I just want to be like Nintendo. Can I just have a copy and take it home now? Yeah, like I love Hollow Knight. It's brilliant Metroidvania game. If you've not played it, play it. And yeah, I'm very excited for this new one. I think it'll be loads of people have been excited. It's basically, we were talking about this, it's turned into a meme more than a game at this point. It's like even before opening night live,
this game looks so freaking cool.
This, where everyone talks about Silk Song and then it doesn't show up, but no, it was there and great. So yeah, I think that's the one that a lot of people are very excited about.
What's your right?
Well, there's Requiem, of course, and actually they've built a Raccoon City like police, like facade, police department facade over the Capcom booth. So very excited for that, and obviously Fallout Season 2 once again.
Yes.
The game adjacent, opening night live.
It's so good.
That looked wicked, and there's some other stuff that we can't talk about yet. But it's also
What a great reason to stay tuned for Outside Xbox and Outside Extra.
Yeah.
Almost like we planned it.
There you have it, folks. It's about time for us to wrap things up. Here in the fish tank, I've been Jane, he's been Mike, she's been Ellen, and we've been Outside Xbox and also Outside Extra. Keep on watching for even more of the good stuff here at Gamescom 2025.
IGN Plus is where your adventure begins. Plus is the place to get unlimited access to all the tools you need to beat your games. Here's what you need to know for bringing down one spot. Plus, also exclusive discounts on iTunes stores.
Baby, this sweetie's open your money pouch.
Plus, ad-free browsing on IGN.com. Plus, unlimited game hub tools like premium interactive maps with your own custom map markers, filters, marker notes, and more. Plus, access to sweepstakes, giveaways, and free game keys. Want more? Head to IGN.com/plus and start your adventure today.
Hey you! Looking for a way to wear your fandom with pride? The IGN store is the ultimate destination for awesome merch and collectibles from the biggest games, movies, shows, and everything in between. Cruise the wasteland in style with a Vault Dweller hoodie and replica Pip-Boy. Kick back and relax to some of the best game soundtracks ever pressed on limited edition vinyl. Or level up your whole wardrobe with a massive selection of officially licensed apparel. From iconic properties like Star Wars and The Legend of Zelda to newer fan favorites like Atomfall and Expedition 33, the IGN store has you covered. Whatever you're into, you're bound to find something. See for yourself, head to store.ign.com today.
Oh hi, you're watching Gamescom Studio on IGN. Nintendo has a huge presence here on the Gamescom show floor, so who better to break down all the biggest games and reveals but the cast of IGN's weekly Nintendo podcast, Nintendo Voice Chat. That's coming up in just a sec. After that, Max has a look at what's coming out next month besides Hollow Knight Silksong and September's biggest game releases. After that, an all-new episode of Next Gen Console Watch, IGN's weekly show that breaks down console tech, news, and more. Stick around because more Gamescom Studio on IGN is coming up right after this. Welcome to a very special Gamescom 2025 episode of Nintendo Voice Chat, live from beautiful Cologne, Germany. A city known for
Cologne, Germany, yeah. That's where we at, okay. Need to go there, Cologne, Germany.
I'm your host, Brian Altano, joined by my super Nintendo friends, Jada Griffin and the Afro.
That's where the host Gamescom at.
Welcome.
Hey, I was born right here, actually, under the studio. It was back there.
Is that the smell?
I got this. I was going to say on this couch.
I'm very sorry. I'm glad we both went to the same place. Nintendo had a pretty massive presence here at Gamescom. One of the biggest booths I've ever seen them do. They had this gigantic stage where people could compete in Mario Kart. They had, for the first stage we were here, covered in tarps, one section specifically. And we were like, well, what is it? What could it be? And then they announced we're doing a direct for Kirby Air Riders. Wasn't the only surprise at the show. They also, Hollow Knight was playable at their booth for the first time. So before we get into impressions on Hollow Knight, Pokemon, Kirby, Elden Ring, all the other stuff we played, I want to talk real quick about Nintendo's presence here at Gamescom, because this was the first show that I've been to where the Switch 2 is out in the wild. It's not a secret, it's not a rumor, it's not a 3D printed thing that some third-party company has off to the side. The Switch 2 is out, but you wouldn't really know it if you went to anybody else's booth but Nintendo's.
I think that's the effect of Nintendo playing the hardware specs and the actual development hardware really close to their chest before release, right? They obviously CD Projekt Red got early hardware to work on their Cyberpunk port, but I think a lot of studios did not participate that early, and you're sort of seeing the results of it. And then the ones that the bigger companies were all playing it safe and developing ports, right? Yeah. So what happens is you're not going to go to a Ubisoft booth and see the Switch 2 port of one of their older games running there because they're focusing entirely on Anno, their new game, right? And so yeah, it's a little sad. I do love that they're back. Nintendo has always been a huge component of Gamescom. I've been to, I think it's been like 15 Gamescoms. 2 were actually virtual in our own studio in LA. And I've been to all of them, and Nintendo was always pretty big. They always
they should go to LA then.
Competitions and there.
If Gamescom can do all this other things,
this looked really big.
I need to talk about that in the next video if I make one.
So it's awesome, and
Games
should be
Kinda
come around,
Evil.
feel like
That's a
Nintendo's
separate
not
video
here.
for
Yeah,
later on.
sure. But when you're looking at
Much later on.
everybody else, it's a little bit, it's a little muted. Yeah, so hopefully we get
That's
a little
never
more,
how should Games
playable
Kinda Evil
games
get
on Switch
expanded
use at the next
to
Gamescom
other
or
countries.
the next event,
I'm gonna make a
right?
video
There's
later
plenty
for
of
that
work between
today.
now and then. Even
How many
though
other
E3 is
cities and
locked down,
states?
Gamescom goes on. It's the biggest in the world. One of the biggest games here was actually, kind of a small one. It's an indie game. It's Hollow Knight Silksong. We got a debut trailer for it with a release date, which is September 4th. A lot of people are going to play this. A lot of people are going to play this on Switch 2 specifically. This is one of those things that just feels like the thing you want to play on that big screen, on a portable, on an airplane, in a car, anywhere you go, right? Not while driving, hopefully. But Jada, you got to play Hollow Knight Silksong at Gamescom. Tell us about it.
I did. It's great. It's hauntingly beautiful in the way that Hollow Knight is. The creatures, just the ambience of the world is just masterful. It looks to be way bigger than Hollow Knight originally, and the developer says it's going to be bigger. There's like 150 more different enemies to fight this time around, supposedly. So that's good news for me, who likes to fight and destroy things.
You like to kill stuff.
I do like to kill stuff, so I'm very excited for that. I'm very happy for all the backers who initially backed it because they updated their Kickstarter saying that they're going to be reaching out shortly to take care of
Wow.
the original backers and become keys for Silksong.
Yeah.
And so this is great. Highly recommend if you're able to get here and if you're at Gamescom and you want to play it, go to their booth early because the line has been capping out at about 11 a.m. Each morning.
The line is so line that the line is so long that I think by the time you reach the end of it, the game would just be out and you could just download it on your Switch too.
There's
I saw the same.
Gamescom.
Yeah, we have our neighbors over there have Metal Gear Solid Delta, another gigantic line, and it's like that game's out in like a week. So I get it, but also value your time.
Dana, thank you for reminding us that there was a Kickstarter because like when you hear Hollow Knight is like the little big game. Right?
Yeah.
Like everybody in media and even gamers were getting frustrated that Team Cherry doesn't observe the sort of traditional marketing approach of telling you constantly when the game is coming. They just went quiet. Right?
Yeah.
Like they announced it really early and said, "See you in the future," and then like it's months and months of nothing. And like you wouldn't think a game like this needs a Kickstarter, and it honestly doesn't. When I look at traffic on IGN, like the sort of demand from players, the original Hollow Knight turned into a huge hit.
Yeah.
Like a bona fide hit. Everybody's looking forward to it. It's a wonderful Metroidvania with a very different art style from most of the games out there. It's just kind of cool to see. We actually, because we knew this would happen, we knew that the moment the release date would be announced, people would go back and play the original. So we made an all-new map on IGN and Map Genie for the original game, and already traffic's going up. Because
Nice.
everybody who saw this went, oh, I gotta go back, I gotta play it before the new one comes up.
Yeah, I've seen the game's it's been on sale in a bunch of places too, so yeah, go check out that map. A slightly less punishing and challenging game that is at the show floor, but also got a 45-minute Nintendo Direct this week, is a game called Kirby Air Riders. So we got a 45-minute Direct hosted by legendary game designer Masahiro Sakurai. Super cool. I think it felt sort of like a send-up of Nintendo Directs at first. Like it felt like they were sort of like poking fun a little bit at 100%. Yeah, right? Yeah. And then it kept going and going and going. And as Logan Plan, regular host here at NBC, pointed out, it sort of devolved into him just reading the manual, which I think is a very funny bit. But Per, you and I got to play this on the show floor, and our thoughts were a little mixed. I really appreciate where this game is going and what it's attempting, but also it was kind of chaos. It's simultaneously like very, very simple and very, very chaotic, a little frenetic, and I think we'll find our balance there eventually. But from our demo on the show floor, we mostly focused on the sort of the city area, which we didn't get to race as much, which I'm a little bummed about. But yeah, what did you think?
It's really funny because we did this video reaction to it and we said, look, this might not be the game for us. And some people said, why do you put old people on camera talking about it? Well, we were not old people when Kirby Air Ride came out, and we all played it and we know what it is. And when I talk about my kids, I'm not saying it's a kid's game. They're now 24, 23, and 18 years old. And they'd be really mad at me for saying that I don't like it. No, it's very chaotic, but it is there's this sort of genius concept inside, right? It's this, at least for City Trial. I'm a big racing game fan. I always found the racing in the original Kirby era to just be weak, right? It's like, we joked it's a game that plays itself. You can actually put your controller down and Kirby will win that first race, if you're lucky. But there's obviously lots of technique in it, especially with the sort of like slow down to drift and boost. There's a lot in that. This game has a ton more, right? So it's not just a redo, there's just a lot more going on. And then it's really not about the racing, it's City Trial, right? This sort of Smash Brothers like concept, you know, with in past Smash Brothers game, you had a board game element and then you had the combat. This is similar, only that the board game is an action game that leads to a shorter action game challenge.
Yeah, well said.
So the City Trial thing is really all about building up your character in different ways. And then there's almost like a social game element where when you're voting on what competition to enter with your upgraded character, you know what you're strong at and you can pick what you're strong at. Or you can mislead people and pick what you're not strong at to make them pick the other thing, right? It's like the Princess Bride, right? It's like, I knew you were going to poison it, right? And so I think it's brilliant. But my complaint, and I think it's the same as yours, it's like, it just doesn't feel that great to me.
Yeah, you know? For having such simplified controls, I would think that it would sort of click a lot more naturally.
Yeah.
And it just kind of hasn't yet. And again, I'm gonna get this game when it comes out. I'm gonna play it because this is one of my favorite game designers of all time is making a new game, and he's very clearly doing something that is deliberately not Smash Brothers, even if it has a lot of Smash Brothers.
No, and if it's not Mario Kart, I was joking about that. It absolutely does not feel like Mario Kart in the racing levels. We've got to play a racing challenge.
Hold on, guys, show you something to talk about Nintendo. Hold on.
Demo, but like even though the sort of short races, you can tell it feels really differently. What I like about it are the different events going on. So the proof is really in the couch co-op.
Yeah.
Like, I want to bring this home. I want to get my kids back together and play.
Yeah.
And do City Trial the old-fashioned way.
While you guys were doing City Trial, did you get to try out some of the different vehicles?
Yeah. And you have attacks, obviously, right? You can charge and attack your opponents. You can do like instant switches to a new rider you find, and then upgrade the rider. The riders have different capabilities, right? Like some are better for floating far, some are faster.
This is my first Nintendo DS. I haven't played so long, I don't know if they still make DS games, but this was my first handheld, and this is why I had it.
A rider that's good for floating a long way with the ability to float longer, right? And so it is very strategic, and that strategy.
The Batman Black Gate.
Kind of lost in the mayhem and the chaos. And what I really
Nintendo 3DS. I don't know if they still make games, but I need to get back on my DS.
You can bust open by all attacking it. It's almost like everybody worked together, but then when it bursts, everybody for themselves grab all the power-ups.
Let's see if it still cuts on.
It's very frantic. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun to play, but I wish it felt a little bit different.
I'm curious how I'm going to react once I play it, because I really love games where I get to min-max my stats and things like that, so I think I'm really going to vibe with that element.
I do need another card.
Isn't there in the mini games or the different clashes and different combat types?
I could probably upload.
But like I said, I still haven't played it yet, so hopefully when it drops, I'll.
Yeah, we were sort of wondering like what's the, not necessarily the end game, but like what are you building towards? Like obviously you're gonna be unlocking characters and vehicles and stuff like that. You know, like the first one, like every Smash Brothers games have had just this massive checklist of things.
Even the SIM card's still in here too.
And so if your brain is the type,
If y'all can see, the SIM card's still in here as well.
Maybe that's the thing about compelling you to keep playing over and over.
It's so old and dusty, need to be wiped off.
Specific factors that will have to work for this game to really
Shards stuff. I think I got the cord somewhere.
I wish this was a Nintendo Switch online game. Not to say that they still can't do something like this, but when you see City Trial,
This was the jam back in the day when it came out. This is my first handheld by Nintendo.
It would be so cool.
And they talk about handhelds so much with Xbox. I do need to update my handheld.
So everybody has to relearn it.
What's the best handheld to get? The PS version 1? That's $200. Or the Nintendo Switch Lite. Because the Lite is pretty cheap right now. I want to get that.
That's why I'm saying Nintendo Switch Online.
Let me know what's your favorite handheld as well.
I love how Tetris 99 switches up at Steam, and it would be so perfect for a game like this.
No, I totally agree. I think it would be very beneficial to have some elements change, even if it's just you know, a small thing like moving around, rotating,
Guys,
looking at the sky.
What a Nintendo Switch exclusive online game just launched, starring an adorable doll. It's called Dragon Drive, and it's available right now on Nintendo Switch.
I cannot believe you brought that one.
But what's really interesting about Kirby Air Riders and Kirby Air Ride is that
All right, I'm about to end the stream, so hope to see y'all later on
Kirby and Mario.
for my
Kirby feels very
show tonight. If they don't
and like the attacks, like the way you smash down
cut it out,
the healing button,
in and out.
it's very, very different from
King's
Mario.
Court, so I'll see y'all
So
later.
Mario Kart
Like, share,
feels
subscribe
like
at T-Bechilln.
And this feels more like Kirby.
And also like, share, subscribe. Tony loves gaming. I mean, Tony loves fighting games. Come on, guys, help me get this brand off the ground.
Like when you hit somebody with a baseball bat and
Deuces.
smash, right? That feels perfect, right?